Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour. Happy Wednesday, and welcome to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour Season 5. Oh my gosh, this is episode 11 in season 5 live, you all. I am telling you, and I'm loving it, although I'm not loving this whole new time, but we'll talk about that in a second. This is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
And this is Louisa Harrell, the Blue Phoenix. How are you?
I'm good. And then, you know, of course, we have two of our co-hosts missing right now or not available. One, Cortina, the girlfriend therapist, will be popping on shortly. But, you know, we're all still here, and Tessina is still dealing with some family issues, but she'll return back next week. We're thinking about you and everything that you are going through. And so we're excited to have you back.
All the love to you, honey.
Yes, and yes. What are we sipping on, or what's the drink for this episode today?
Okay, so we have something interesting. Have you heard of the green goddess salad?
I don't know. Is it an actual salad?
Yeah, they make it with cabbage and I believe cucumbers and avocado. It's a lot of, I have to pull up the recipe, but it's been a rave. Everybody's been raving over the green goddess salad. Well, they actually have a green goddess cocktail. I was like, oh, right. I was like, oh, let me share this. So you need 2 ounces of cucumber juice, an ounce of sugarcane juice. Now they gave specific brands of the alcohol. So they have 1 ounce Appleton Estate Signature rum. They have 1 ounce J. Ray and Nephew Overproof White Rum, 1 ounce fresh lime juice, and 1 ounce ginger juice. So you take all these ingredients and you pour them in the shaker with ice in it, shake it up, and then strain it over ice in a glass and drink it.
That's a lot.
It is.
I feel like that is a lot. That's a lot of mixing and blending and all of that stuff that's going on, you know. So with our drinks, let's talk. You know what? After today, I feel like I need a drink because this time is really messing me up.
Yeah.
I can't speak for you. Has the time
changed? Usually I somehow ignore it, but this week has been weird for some reason. Somehow I can, because what I do with my house, I don't change my clocks. I stopped changing my clocks. For one, I got tired of pulling them up and down off the wall. I'm tired. So I stopped changing my clocks, and I make the kids do math. What time is it? Figure it out. And so, so this time I didn't have to do anything because I never moved it back. And so, but this, for some reason, it has, and I think it's weird. Like, I just feel like I'm not sleeping. I don't know what is going on. It's just, I'm not sleeping, but I'm continuously having to run around and do stuff. And so by the time I finally sit down, my body's like, please go to sleep. How about you?
I don't know. I know that with it being lighter outside a lot longer, it's interrupting my psyche. So a good example was today. I was on the phone. It literally still felt like it was 5 or 6 o'clock. And I'm sitting there and I'm chilling. Next thing you know, the time runs across and I'm thinking, why is 6:30? What? And then it hit. I'm like, it's 6:30.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm having to hurry up and throw myself together because hair was doing its own thing. I was like, you know what? I don't have time. Natural hair woes, you all. I mean, natural hair is easy to a certain extent. And then the longer, I feel like it was easier when it was short. Short hair and curly hair, yes, I can just wash and go. Now, however it dries, it's
if you don't do put something in it or spray some water or something, you have to do so. That's why I had to pull mine back, because I washed it Sunday and I put some stuff in it to, like, instead of shrinking my hair up, it let my curls hang a little bit. Well, I didn't do anything to it today. I didn't spray and dry, and I was like, dang it, crunch, crunch, crunch. But true, it's like this morning I woke up and it was, well, not when I woke up, but this morning I'm walking around and I'm like, okay, shouldn't the sun be out? And I don't think the sun came out until almost 8 o'clock.
Wow. And you know what? I don't notice the mornings. Today I actually slept in because I'm trying to sleep in on certain days, especially on my long days, like today being a longer day because we podcast. It makes me feel like, okay, I don't want to work, a 12 or 13 hour day. And so I'll usually start work around 9 o'clock versus 8 o'clock. And then of course we podcast until 8. So it still gives me a 12-hour day. But today I went, it was somewhat of a pamper day for me because I went and got my nails and my feet done because I'm speaking on Saturday. So it's like, you know what, let me get this done. And I have a photo shoot tomorrow. It's just so much stuff going on. So I slept in today, but this afternoon and every afternoon I lose track of time because of this whole hour. So I would just like my hour back. I would actually like for it not to be bothered with going back and forth at all, period. So, it is Wednesday, and like every Wednesday we highlight our WCWs for the week. And do you have your WCW ready?
I do, and I like to bring little things that we didn't know. So, Sarah E. Good, she was born at 1850. Homework. She was born in 1850, and she's the first African American woman to be granted a patent by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. And guess what her patent is on? The fold out or the pull out bed. So her version, right? I was like, whoa! Her version of her patent bed was so she was a slave. She was freed after the Civil War, and so she moved to Chicago. Her and her husband moved to Chicago, and he was a carpenter, and so she opened up a furniture store with him. And what she ended up inventing, because a lot of her customers were, working class citizens. And they lived in small apartments and they didn't have space for like furniture or even a bed. So she created a desk that unfolds into a bed. And I'm trying to visualize that because I'm like, how? But get right. Well, it unfolded into a bed, and it even had, once it's folded back into a desk, a compartment where you can put stationery and then your writing supplies. So, and that was invented in 1885. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is such an interesting tidbit. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh. See, look at here. The power of women. Plus it's Women's History Month too.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
That's something really, really good to know. So I have my WCW today. It's actually 3 people. Because I think that given the nature of change since 2022 came in and this podcast, I'm shouting out all of my co-hosts on here. You, Cortina, Tessina. I wish everybody really understood how much work actually goes into podcasting every single week. I commend anybody who does it every day. And here again, and I've said this before on other podcasts, we used to podcast only, every first and third Wednesday of every month. And because of the demand, and Louisa, this, because you was doing a lot of the scheduling, we could never get every guest that we wanted to be on the show. And so when the latter part of last year, when we were on hiatus, I had let the co-host know. I said, you know what I would like is to see about doing this every single week, every Wednesday, as opposed to the first and third. And I have to say, first of all, that the ladies that come on and they show up and they're interactive, and we're making time for all of our guests and interacting with our guests and interacting with the people that, watch the show and are downloading the show. And we appreciate everything. But I still have to shout out the co-hosts that are really making time out of their day to be a part of this platform. I myself have never, and this, I have never missed an episode.
Nope.
In season 5, I have never missed a single episode unless we were on hiatus, which I'm looking forward to hiatus because this is a lot. I'm looking forward to the summer hiatus that we're going to go on. But the work that goes through just being present every single week, I appreciate the ladies. And so I'm shouting you out, and you all are my WCWs and my constant source of inspiration. So that's my WCW for today. I'm also shouting out myself because I'm also on here. But
I know that's right.
I feel like I picked a great group of women that mesh so well that we are literally like sisters, and we interact here. You all see us interact every, once a week. We actually interact with each other every single day to some extent. So shout out to my co-host that's out here. All right. Anything before we bring our guest on? Because when I say I was reading the bio on our guest, I was like, "Whoo, I'm taken away."
Man, I was like, "Oh, you better do it, boo!" I was sitting there like, "What? What?" I mean, like all over the place. I don't have anything to say.
The ultimate of just like a few of our other guests, or a lot of our other guests for this year. We've had some bomb guests so far this year that I'm super inspired and super motivated. And this is why we do what we do. So our guest today is Beth Griffith-Manley. And I'm sure if you watch The Voice, then I'm sure the name sounds extremely familiar to you. But she has performed both as a solo artist and as a support vocalist, touring worldwide with Motown and R&B artist Kim. He's one of my favorite singers too, because he's so soulful. I absolutely love Kim, and a lot of his music. She has released seven solo recording projects and been featured on or provided backing vocals for 7 additional recording projects. She's a member of SAG-AFTRA, AFTRA. Yeah, I'm messing that up. I'm totally jacking that up here. And also acted in 4 feature films, multiple stage plays, and commercials for TV and radio. Following her rich musical upbringing from her father, Johnny Griffith, one of the original Funk Brothers. How about that? She has also performed in some of the world's most prestigious venues. And in 2006, she performed alongside the late Ollie Woodson, legendary singer of The Temptations, as they sang an inspiring and timeless duet, Reach Out Everyone. The song and video were inspired by natural disasters and supported the Hurricane Katrina Relief Fund. And then shortly after, she provided background vocals for Grammy Award-winning gospel singer Yolanda Adams' Christmas album, What a Wonderful Time. And let me explain something, you all. That is probably about a quarter of her bio. And so without further ado, we are going to bring Miss Beth Griffith-Manley up here. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. And please just call me Beth. We're dropping the last names.
Okay. Welcome to Herspiration Happy Hour.
Yes. I'm saying yes, please, but just call me Beth. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
We're gonna call you Beth.
Yes.
So tell our audience and our listeners a little bit about yourself, and for one, what inspired you as a part of this to go into music?
I think my dad. Like, I couldn't help it. Just hearing him play, and it was just natural in me, and I just wanted to be a singer. I just wanted to be around music. Music is very therapeutic, I think, to people in general. And then when you are brought up in a setting where there's music all the time, it's either going to grab you or it's not. My brother and my sister are not into music. It didn't grab them, but it grabbed me. So I can't help it. I can't help it. It's a wonderful thing. Music is a wonderful thing.
It really is. I'm telling you.
How old were you when you had your introduction to music? I know you go back, but when you think about it, it was like, oh, I remember this point in time that music became something that resonated with me. About what age?
I can't even tell you when, because my father played the piano all the time in the house. So there was always music being played. We had a beautiful grand piano, and he just played. I would wake up in the morning and he would be playing. I'd go to bed at night, he'd be playing. So I can't really remember when music started in my life, because it's just always been there. But what I can say is, when I knew that I wanted to do it professionally, probably I was well out of high school. I was out of high school and I started auditioning for bands around the city of Detroit and started doing that. And then I kind of was like, you know what, I think I really want to do this, because I went to college and to get a traditional job. I was going to go into corporate law, and I was going to please my parents and do what they wanted me to do. But it really wasn't what I wanted to do. I just didn't think singing was possible for me to do. It just seemed like such a big world. It seemed like too many hoops you got to jump through. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go to college. I'm going to get my degree. I'm going to make my mom and daddy happy, because that is really what they pushed me to do. So I think when I got out of college and I started singing with the bands and I started getting paid to sing, I was like, oh, wait, you get money for this? Oh, this is what I'm about to do.
I know that's right.
So that's when it kind of changed for me. Yeah.
So outside of singing, like if you weren't doing anything else, like if you weren't, because I know you said about law, right? So if you weren't singing, what would you be doing today? What do you think you'd be doing?
I'd probably be a mother with a bunch of kids. I love children. You know, I'm married. I love being married. And I probably would just be one of those hands-on mothers, you know, in the back of my mind, wishing that I was a rock star. And that was something that was proposed to me. You know, I had, you know, as women, we have options. And I think when that option was proposed to me, it didn't feel good. You know, and I don't say that with any shade against having children, but when I was at a crossroad in my life younger, where it was like, I'm just be real transparent. So I'm married now, but I was engaged before I married my husband to another guy. And I remember deep down inside, I wanted to sing, but I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know how. And I remember I had not gotten fully into music and embracing that that's what I really wanted. And I remember him telling me, you keep trying to do this singing thing. Why don't we just get married and have a family? And I was like, you know, it made me, I was like, no, that didn't even sound good to me, right? If I would have had a child, I would have embraced that and done that well. But it was prior to me even having children. Needless to say, I've never had children either. So you see what I'm saying? So I chose the music to be my path and to be my baby. So I think probably if I would have had a kid, I just would have been a hands-on full-time mom.
That's interesting that you say that, right? You felt kind of like that pull, like, oh,
it didn't feel good when he said that.
I don't know about that one. I think I'm going to just follow
I'm not doing that.
It sounded like you followed like what really was the passion and the burning desire down in your heart. And clearly you took the path that was meant for you, or unless you wouldn't be as successful as you. And I
married a guy with kids, so then I was like, oh, I had kids part time, be the mama, because I was very hands on with them. You know, I took them to school, helped with homework. Dinner was on the stove when they got home from school. Like I was old school. They would get home from school. Dinner was on the stove at 3 o'clock, and at 4 o'clock, they like I'm really motherly. I'm very nervous, but just opposite of that, I love being an artist as well. So those are the two things. Yeah.
What was one of your favorite projects you ever worked on?
Oh, I think, and this is non-musical, when I got a chance to work with Whitney Houston and be her body double for Sparkle.
Oh,
that was dream walking for me, because I just wanted to meet Whitney. It had nothing to do with music, but just to be in the room with her, and for me to see something that I had wished for.
Yeah, we kind of got a little.
That's real live TV for you guys.
I know. Okay. Beth, you're back. You are back.
Yeah, just meeting her and being in her presence, and you know, when there's something that you wish for and you don't know if it's gonna ever happen, and then it happens, you're like, oh my God, this happened. So I think that was one of the most amazing things, was that.
So I have a question for you. When I was just reading everything about you, I was like, wow, you've done some amazing things. Where did it start for you? Like, how did you did you decide, you know what, I'm going to take a leap of faith and put myself out there to see what comes in? What was your first entrance into where you felt like this was a success for me? When did that happen for you, and what was it?
And this might be small to y'all, but in the very beginning, when I first started singing, starting from high school, I had really bad panic attacks to the point where it was crippling. I'm sick. I can't sing. I'm dizzy. I'm about to pass out. When I got to the point where I could finish a song and not pass out, then I knew I could do it. There was nothing that I couldn't do at that point, because that was the one thing I felt that was keeping me from getting to the next point. I'm like, you can't even get to point B because you can't get off home plate. You can't even go to first base. So when I got to the point where I was able to control my anxiety and to control my fear and not let the anxiety and fear control me, that's when I was like, oh, well, I can do this.
And
wow,
that is deep.
That was huge, because anxiety is a really big thing, and panic attacks are a really big thing. And when I was going through that, they weren't labeled that at the time. It was like, oh, that girl's scared. She's going out there and saying, shut up. You know, it was like that. Now there's a label for it and there's help for it. I had to help myself. I didn't have any help.
I was going to ask you what helped you get through that. Was it something that you meditated on? Was it visualization? What is it that you did that kind of helped you be able to get from the beginning of the song to the end of the song without making yourself physiologically sick?
I wanted to sing so bad, and I had opportunities that I had missed or I let pass me by. And the feeling of knowing that I had failed and letting that anxiety and fear control me was worse than what the anxiety felt like. And I had conversations with myself. How do you want to feel? You know what this feels like, and you know what that feels like. Which one do you want to deal with? And I had to make a decision. I don't like the way I feel when I allow fear to win and when I allow anxiety to feel. I don't like the way that feels. So when I came to that conclusion, it was like, then what do you do to get past that? So I kind of outsmarted myself, if I say it this way. I said, well, how do you get on the stage? How do you work past your fear? How do you work past your anxiety? So that's when I decided maybe me being in the front is too much for me right now. And that's when I started being a background singer. I said, if I be a background singer, I can still be on the stage. I still have the lights. And then I can get comfortable being on the stage, and then I can inch my way up to the front. And so that's what I did.
Okay. So you
know what? I love this for so many reasons. Yeah. I love this for so many reasons that you say that, because when I first asked you about your introduction to music, you was talking about your dad always played, and your dad was a part of a band. And so to hear you want to pursue music, but you had a crutch, you know, you had something that was stopping you. It was like, you know what, I can do it solo, but if me getting out there in person is going to ignite all of this anxiety for me, and I'm going to go from anxiety to having panic attacks, I would have never thought, coming from a musical background and being introduced to music for so long, for as long as you had, that years later, when you decide to pursue it, what was holding you back was fear and anxiety and panic attacks. So I think that is such a transparent, I love your transparency, because just saying that changes the trajectory, or changed the trajectory of your life. And how many people who are in that same situation as you that didn't even come up in a music background, that are crippled by that anxiety and fear that they have, so much so that it prevents them from living and pursuing their purpose.
I know what it feels like, and it's just a bad feeling. You feel like you're inadequate. You feel like you're not good enough because there's something so deep down inside of you that you want to give, or you want to share, or you just want to do. And it's like this brick wall, you keep hitting it. And I have to go back to when I was a kid. You know, my parents really didn't want me in the music business. So maybe if they would have pushed me and groomed me to do this, I may not have had the fears. But they were like, no, go to school, get your education. You don't need to do this. So that really wasn't pushed for me to do it. I heard my dad playing, but he never was like, oh, you can grow up and do this. They didn't want me to do it. And second, I was teased as a child. So I still heard all of the teasing and the ridiculing, and for whatever reason, that stuck with me, and I didn't get past that. So a lot of times when you stand up in front of people and you have to speak or you have to sing, you know, all of those little demons come back and start haunting you. All of those things that tell you can't, you're not good enough, you ugly, they looking at you. Everything that you heard back in the day starts to creep up in the front. And so those were the things that I was battling with, on top of not being trained to sing. It was just something I wanted to do and didn't really know I could do it. I mean, I got in junior high and my teachers told me I had a voice. I didn't even know I could sing. Again, because my parents didn't push me to do it. I took piano lessons, but they didn't want me. I mean, you know, they weren't like sing. I just knew how to play. That was it.
So then,
a weird thing.
Talking about the voice and having a voice, what made you decide, you know what? I think I'm going to take my chance and be on The Voice. Let me go and audition for this.
I had put my first album out and I said, I'm selling it myself. I'm trying to book shows myself. And this is a little harder than it looks. So what can I do to, you know, I want something different. Let me try something different. And I had often watched American Idol and The Voice, and I was like, I am not that girl that's going to get up there and have them judge and critique me, you know, because I'm like, I'm already getting paid to sing. So like, I had already been working with Kim. I had already toured with Anita Baker, and I was like, I don't really need to do that. But then I said, I do want to be a solo artist. So unless I want to continue just doing background, I'm going to have to do something to change things. So The Voice actually reached out to my manager. And I said no the first time because I was like, nah, I don't want to do this, you know. And I always tell people, you know, I'm not a spring chicken. I'm a summer chicken. I was, you know, I wasn't the youngest one on that show, right? So I was just like, okay, first I'm good and grown. Like, I'm not going to hear these people telling me, you know, that I'm already working or whatever. But I said, let me do something different. So I said no. And then like 6 months later, they called back again and were like, you know, we're going to send her an invitation. Does she want to do it again? I said, doggone it. Let me just, I'm not doing nothing else. I mean, I was still touring and on the road, but I said, let me just take an opportunity to do this. And I tried it and I had no idea I was going to get on the show and make it as far as I did. And I said, if anything, I'll get a blind audition with these superstar coaches to see me, and I'll use that. This will go on my resume, and I can always use this as something as a resume builder to book more work. And it worked. I'm so glad I did it.
What was one of the things that you got from that experience? Like, what was something that someone said to you or some advice that you got that you still hold and hold dear to you today?
One thing that I do know is that as little girls, little boys, we dream, we see Hollywood, we see the lights and camera in action, and we never really think that it's tangible. And so I was able to be there and be in that environment, and I see and felt touched, was engulfed in that Hollywood environment. So I know that that's tangible. I know that I can go back there again. I know that I can do it. I did it once, I can do it twice. It gave me also a sense of confidence, because once I got there, I looked back and said, wow, this really wasn't as hard as I thought it was to even get to this point. I think we put limitations on ourselves, and things look so big, and they're really not. Things look untouchable, and they're really not. Things look unobtainable, they're really not. We just have to be smart and strategic and figure out how to get there. And that was one of the things that I had to sit down. You know, I discuss a lot of stuff with my husband, and like, well, what do you think? Does this make sense? And he was like, if you don't get your butt on this show and go sing, and like, okay. So I just have a new sense of awareness that anything that we want to do, we can do. Like, we always say, well, no, I can't do that because, you know, and it's like, no, don't say that. Just do it, or at least try. And you'll be surprised the outcome. And a lot of times you get there or okay, let me break it down. Okay, so shoes, you see something online, you see these bad pair of shoes, right? And you order them, you get them home, they're not even as cute as you thought. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things in life you think is so big, and then you get there, you be like, this what I was crying over? So it's kind of like that. I got there, and I'm not saying that the voice wasn't great. It was. But when I got there, it was like, oh, I could do this. But watching it on television or hearing about people talk about it, you're like, oh my God, I can't do that because they're going to be looking. But you want people to look. You want people to see your gift. So you have to put yourself out there. So, yeah.
That's one of the things that they say. If your dreams are not big enough to where they scare you, they're not big enough, right? Because if you're looking at something like, yeah, this is my dream, I know I can achieve it. Well, you got to go a little bit bigger, because for whatever is on the other side for you, you're going to get there and you're going to look back exactly what you're explaining and saying, oh my gosh, like I did it and that was it. Now I made this whole anthill into a mountain and I was able to conquer it.
Yeah. It was just, and now if I think about something that I want to do, I think about it, I may write it down, or as my mama said, put a pen in it, and I'm on to the next thing. Because I said, well, I've already, said I wanted to do that. That's already in the atmosphere. I've already talked to God about this. He's already working on that. So what are we doing next? But I had to go through the anxiety and the insecurities, and I had to push through those things to see that those things really are, they all up here.
What do you have?
Yeah, I also like, I was gonna say, I also like, because at first you said no twice, then you also said that you was not a spring chicken. Do you think that age was a reason why at first you didn't want to go on The Voice?
Yeah, one of the reasons, because I was like, okay, they're gonna judge me, they're gonna think I'm too old. And then I get there and there's people auditioning older than me. And then even last season, one lady that came in first runner up, she was older than me. So and she's an amazing artist. Like, she's an amazing artist. The industry, the business puts this limitation on age, and especially for women. It always makes women feel like, you got to look like this, you got to be this age, you got to do this, and you got to do that. And really, I think real people are thirsty for real talent and real looking people to a certain extent. Of course, they want you to be dressed up and dialed up. But I was told this a long time ago. How do you sing with expression and feeling if you've not been through anything? So somebody 20 years old, they ain't done nothing. If I'm up there singing and you hear me holler, that's because I had some things to holler about. So I'd have been around for a minute. So it's a thing where you just have to, I did doubt myself and felt like they're going to judge me. They're going to treat me a certain way. They treated me very well. They were very nice. Like, it was great. More than I could have expected.
That's interesting. I'm sorry, Katrina, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask her, because she's done all of these amazing things. What other things, like, does she have working in the pipeline? Maybe some you can tell us, maybe some you cannot tell us.
Yeah. So I put out a children's book in October, and then
congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I was really excited about that. So I put that out in October. And it's called I Am Beautiful Inside and Out. So right now we're actually working on the second book. And I want to release that over the summer. So that's one thing. The second thing is I have a new single coming out. I have a new album coming out, which will be my second album. I have a collaboration. Well, look, okay, I'm going too fast. So let me tell you about the single. The single is called Let Me Be. The album is called Get to Know Me. So those things are coming. There is a collaboration that I have that's also coming that'll be in April. We did a remake of Sade, Kiss of Life. I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited because nobody remakes Sade. So I'm like, oh. So that was fun. I'm excited about people to hear that. So that'll be out. And I did that collaboration with a young man named Blair, Prince Bryant. And he's extraordinary jazz guitarist, or jazz bassist, let me say that. and he is Najee's MD, who he works with. And I've also had the wonderful opportunity to travel and tour with Najee the latter part of last year. We did several shows together, and that's how I met him. So we have that coming out. And next week I leave for tour. So I'll be with Kim and Babyface tour. We have 26 cities. So I leave next week to go do that. So the first show is March 30th. We'll be in Petersburg, Virginia. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So it's like 9 years. So, that's my guy. So I appreciate him keeping me on. And he was like, "You want to do this tour?" I'm like, "Yep, let's go."
He's one of my favorite singers. I have a picture with him.
Yeah, he's great. Great. Yeah, he's really nice about taking pictures with people. He's really good.
I went and saw him 2 years in a row.
So you don't have your tickets for this tour?
Huh?
You don't have your tickets for this tour?
I don't know if he coming to Tampa, if he coming to Orlando. I only see him when he comes to Florida.
Orlando. We will be in Orlando.
Well, what date is that?
She said, "No, where's my computer?"
Right. Right.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, it's called the Full Circle Tour. It's Kim, Babyface, Sherry Shepherd. And
she's hosting it. She's the host. Now I did see that. Yes, I did see that because I saw him when he was with Joe. I saw him when he went on tour with Charlie Wilson.
Yep, I was on that. Yep.
I know he introduced a singer, El Renee. It was one of the ones that was coming out this is like 2016, I want to say. So oh my God. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. Yep.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a great show. You're gonna enjoy it.
Good, wonderful. Pam, you're on mute.
I'm over here talking up a storm. Where's the first city? Look at there.
The first city is Petersburg, Virginia.
Okay.
And then we will have we're hitting, and this is out of order. We're hitting Atlanta, we're hitting Dallas, we're hitting Houston, we're hitting Orlando, we're hitting Philly, we're hitting New York, we're hitting Detroit, which is home.
Detroit,
Las Vegas, Oakland, California. It's a whole list.
Okay, I love Detroit. Look, I love Detroit. My best friend lives in Detroit. I have really good friends in Detroit, so I'm in Detroit a lot. Yeah, love Detroit.
Okay, well, I'll see you April 10th.
Look, she already did the date.
I'm not mad at you. You're gonna enjoy the show. It's just really to have been him so long and to see him and his shows grow and evolve. It's just great, and I'm just really excited to be there. I'll be singing a duet with him in this tour, so I'm really excited about that. So that'll be cool.
So what are you, since this tour is getting ready to kick off tomorrow, what are you most looking forward to, even outside of whether it's a part of performing or outside of performing as you are on the road? What are you most looking forward to?
It just feels good to be working. It feels good to be performing live for people. I think we're all excited about that. And I'm really excited to sing this song with him too. So yeah, it's just like all of that balled up and rolled up in one.
Are you going to perform any songs from your new album that's coming?
No, this is just his show. I'll be doing the duet with him, If It's Love.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So do you plan on touring for your own album that's coming out?
Possibly later on, because we get finished with this tour probably mid-May. Okay. So after that, then we're actually working on some stuff now. So yeah, my people they're figuring some stuff out. So we got to figure that out. But yeah, I'll be back home like mid-May, and then by the time before this tour is even over, I should say, I'll know what we're doing, because it's a possibility this tour could be extended. Like the Charlie tour, they extended it.
Okay.
Did it, and then we came home for a minute and they added more shows. So we have to leave a little leeway for that and then see what else it is.
So I have to, being in the industry, I know it is no easy feat and it takes a whole lot of work. What would you say to anyone who is interested in going into the music industry and pursuing their dreams in the industry? What I don't like the word advice, but what would you say, tell someone who is looking to go into the music industry and what they should expect?
Well, first I would tell them, don't do it for the money. Do it because you love to do it. And do it because it's a passion of yours. And if you apply yourself and surround yourself around people where you can learn and where you can grow, then you have a really good chance of being successful at doing it. And you have to understand that there's a process too, and you can't miss steps. And you have to trust the process, because I would hear that all the time. Trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. And sometimes opportunities will come in your life and things will happen and you'll be upset thinking that you missed something. And when you get a little bit farther and you look back, sometimes you realize you weren't even ready for it, or you would not have been able to handle it. And I've had that experience sometimes. I'm like, oh, I missed that or something, but I wasn't ready for it. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. So that's why I say trust the process where you are. As long as you're doing the right thing and you're studying and you're, and you're learning and you're open to learn and you're open for people to teach you, then trust the process and keep going. And I always feel like you need to have a mentor in this business. You can't do this by yourself and think you're going to figure out everything. It'll take you a lot longer. Get a person that you can trust as a mentor that will be able to give you some strategic moves and steps for you to move forward. And last but not least, don't judge everything you see on the internet, on Instagram and Facebook, because people don't always tell the truth about what they're doing. People post wonderful pictures and wonderful events and wonderful situations, but it's not always true. And when you are wanting something so bad and you see somebody else doing it, it could really create something in you that's not healthy if you try to judge yourself by what you're seeing online. So find out what your lane is and what your niche is, and then try to stay there and not do what other people are doing.
Right.
That's wonderful. Not advice, but pathway direction. Yeah.
It's such a cliche thing to me that I don't really believe in it, because I think advice sometimes is unsolicited, but when you get direction, then it means something more enriching, because it's like you're making people own their own decisions.
Yeah.
Right.
So speaking of, let's rewind, because speaking of trust in the process, you say you're married, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did this process affect your relationship as far as you being away, because you're also an actress? And how is the support? Was it hard for him? Was it hard for you, because that's your husband, being away from each other? The support from him, was it hard for him to be as supportive as you needed? I mean, how did that work for you?
It was a mess. I'm gonna be honest with you. So if I could let him tell you, oh Lord, that'd be a whole nother show. So, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. So, okay, so what happened kind of really quick, when I met him, I wanted to sing, but I really wasn't going full force with it. So that's one place when you just want something, but you're not really in it yet, right? Then I get to the place where, oh, I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna do this, and you either coming or you not. But that's not the correct mindset you're supposed to have when you're married. But I didn't know that, so I was just like, "Come on with me," as opposed to "Let's walk together." Okay, so I had to learn all that. And with me, come on with me, because I'm gonna do me, and you can just come with me. That caused a little ripple, big ripple. Okay, and we had to work through some issues. We've been married 22 years.
Woo!
Yes. So we stuck it out. And he, when I tell you that's my guy, now when I get ready to do something, as opposed to this is what I'm gonna do, I say, you know what, babe, what you think about this? Or this is what I'm thinking of. Because I'm very independent. The music that I put out myself. So I have my own record label, which is called Anise Records.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he respects that the business is mine, but when I need money, I need him to give me the money. So I told you I'll be honest with you. So I'm like, babe, I need this so I can do that, but this is my company. So you know how we do. Yeah. So but he's okay with that because we have talked about it and we communicate. And so now I no longer tell him what I'm going to do. We talk about it. And the agreement is he's not going to tell me no. He just wants to know, but he wants to be in the know. So we work through it, but it was very rough in the beginning because I was very headstrong. First of all, I'm a Leo. So I was like, this is what I'm doing. And you either can come or you go. That wasn't working. You a Leo too?
Oh,
I'm the last day, the 22nd of August.
Okay, so my birthday is the 9th of August. I happen to share birthday with Whitney Houston, who's my favorite.
Isn't that solid?
That's amazing in itself to me. So we're very headstrong, you know, and I have to learn how to bring it back. We're both firstborns, so we're both very headstrong. My husband is a Gemini, so some days I don't know who I'm talking to. You know, I can look at him and be like, yeah, I'm away.
I was raised by a Gemini, so I know.
Yeah, and Geminis they're very loving. They're loving people, but you have to know them. You can look at them and tell when, you know, I need Gemini A and you Gemini J. I'm waiting to dial it back. So I had to be able to, me being a Leo, me being firstborn, me being strong-willed, allow him to be the head of the household. So I had to just bring it back. So yeah, it was a challenge. With me traveling, he doesn't like it. That's honest, but he knows that I do it and that's part of the job. So, you know, we make arrangements. He'll fly out to where I am, or if we have down days, I fly home. My mother lives with us. My mother has dementia. She has Alzheimer's. She's 80 years old. So I'm her caregiver. I do have help, but so there's a lot of things going on just in my house I have to manage. So I do have to juggle all that. He's an amazing husband to help me with my mom. So there's things that we had to just adjust with to make it work because he wants me to win. He wants me to be successful, but we had to duke it out to get there.
Look, that's what makes us. That's what makes strong marriages. Being able to duke it out and come out on the other side. Yeah. That's the power that why you have 22 years married and. You know, you just like, you know what, we're not going to leave because the times get bad and we have a few storms. So I love that. Before we let you go, though, I want to go back really quick to a few things. One, tell everybody where they can purchase your children's book that you just released. I'm a children's book author. So I love that, you know, anyone who say, oh, I published my first children's book. I'm like, hey, yay. So where can people find your children's book at?
It is on my website, which is bethalwayssings.com.
Okay.
And my music is there. You can connect with me there. I still haven't put the show dates on there yet. I'm a little slow doing that. Life is going on, and I'm, you know, sometimes to sit down at a computer, like you're like, wait, I don't even have time to sit down. So, but everything that I'm doing, social media, my music, the book, all of that is on bethalwayssings.com.
Okay.
What's the name of the book?
It is called I Am Beautiful Inside and Out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so go check out her book, you all, because you know, I if it's anything like her, you already know it's amazing. So yes, and so is there anything that you want, you know, your fans or the listeners or the people who are watching to know before we let you go?
First and foremost, I love people. I love to connect with my fan base. And if you see me out, say, hey. I just love to connect. So, and I understand the importance of the support from your fan base. I don't take that for granted. We need each other. You all need good music from me and I need you to support. So we need each other. So I think what I want people to know is that I am approachable and that I understand the importance of a fan base. And I do need to connect with you. Please come to a show. Please come support. And if you see me out, just say, hey.
I'll see you April 10th. And when is your other...
I see you over here because your eyes was to the side. I said,
I sure was. I was like, $594 for the flow. I said, oh no, I need to go to Ticketmaster. I can't.
Wait a minute. What? What? How much did you say?
It's $594.
So you're gonna be on the stage with us then, right?
Oh no, I'm not.
Well, she done. Beth done clutched her own pearl. She said, "How much you say?" Oh no, oh no, I ain't paying that much to see me. Hold up.
Let me find this $112 ticket. I can't do the 500.
For 500, you're gonna be on the stage. I'll be like, "Hey, girl, what's your note? What note you sent?"
Because it's funny, you know how people like resell those tickets. So the whole floor is sold out already. So, but they're reselling them on another site, and that's where it's $594. So, like, if you wanted to get a floor seat, you can't get one unless you pay a crazy amount of money.
Man, in fact, they're reselling the tickets like people.
Yeah.
People going to buy them though. They're going to buy them.
Oh, not me.
Looking for
oh no, not you. Somebody will.
But I'm gonna be in the building though. I'm gonna be in the building.
Oh my gosh. Well, I will see you. However I see you, I'm gonna see.
Might pour in the nosebleeds if it's like that. Like
she's gonna be up at the top with a white.
I'm gonna wave a white flag. Be like, I hope Beth can see me. I don't know, but I'm. Now, where's your first? Is it on iTunes? Because I'm on iTunes right now, and I'm trying to. When will your other album that's coming out? When will that be? I know you said in April, but when is it going to be out officially? And your other album that you already released, what's the title of that on iTunes? Because I'm just trying to support.
And I gotta apologize. I was not clear. I'm so excited about all this music. I'm like, and so let me do that. I'm so excited though. So the second album, the full album, will be out in June. I don't have a release date yet.
Okay.
The single, and that album is going to be called Get to Know Me.
Okay.
But I don't have a date.
All right.
Us independent people, it'd be Monday, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm put this out on Friday." So that's another thing. We just kind of, Okay. But we're okay. So that's not done yet. Let Me Be is my single. It is scheduled for March 22nd.
Oh, that's when my book release.
But it might.
Wait, I thought we was going to share a project that's coming out.
Well, technically we are as of today. But there may be a change.
That's Tuesday.
And you are the first people that I'm telling. We may have to make some changes. It's nothing wrong. It's just we might have to shift stuff a little bit. Sometimes, that outfit you plan to wear, and then you got to change the outfit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I know she revert everything back to clothes and shoes.
Because fashion is everything.
Don't I know?
The best part of being on The Voice is the wardrobe department. When I tell you, I went in there and I heard angels sing when I walked.
Oh, so they get to dress you. You don't get to pick out your own personal. You don't bring your own personal clothes.
You can't. No, they don't want you wearing your own personal clothes. And if you do wear your own personal clothes, they have to be cleared. But they had a room that was like a gym warehouse full of rows and rows and rows of everything and every designer and shoes. And just when I tell you, listen.
Wow.
And then what you wear, you get to take home. Yes. So that alone is worth getting on that show.
Okay.
I can't sing a lick, but it hurt me to.
You'd be like,
yes. Like, where is the fashion? I do relate things to clothing because I love clothes. But so we may be making a change for March 22nd, but that is the date that I put out, so that could possibly shift. The collaboration that I have with Blair Bryant, that will be out April 15th. He is an amazing artist. His birthday is today, actually.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yes, he's brilliant musically and just a nice guy. His album is called Red Tiger. April 15th, it'll be out. And then we did the collab of Kiss of Life. So that'll be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those are the three things. Yes, I'm sorry because I was just like, okay, we have music and I have music and I have music, and that's all.
Was there just really quick? Was there any significant about March 22nd as to why you wanted to drop your album that day?
No, but I'm gonna tell you something. When I look back at releases that I've had over the past couple years, stuff keeps happening in March. And then I'm like, wait, because I released a single last year around that time. And then, so I don't know what it is. I'm always led to do something in March. I don't know if it's the spring, renewal.
Yeah, that's the beginning of the year, for real.
The beginning of the year, you're starting to see flowers bloom, birds are chirping, daylight saving time. I don't know if my body, me being a Leo, the sun, I'm in tune with the I don't know, the seasons changing. Because I'm always drawn to March. So good time for me, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, well, we definitely will be on the lookout. Oh, so okay, so he just popped the Spotify in here. I'm going to show that.
Hi, Ron. Thank you.
Mr. Ron, thank you so much for bringing her on. Or, she's absolutely adorable. Love her.
Yes,
I'm saying like you aren't here, but I'm just talking to him.
Ron, my guy, he's incredible. And I met Ron when I was working with Anita Baker. We met backstage many moons ago. And Ron met me as a background singer with her when I had no idea that I was going to ever be a solo artist. Connected on social media, and then now we're working together, and he is just an incredible guy, and I appreciate him. So Ron, I'm giving you your flowers while you can hear them, because I do it all the time. I love you and thank you so very much. He's watched me, build and grow, and he's just incredible. We absolutely love him and adore him.
Oh, well, shout out to you, Ron, for, out here bringing such amazing, amazing people onto the show. I mean, I would have never thought, I thought the conversation was going to go one way. And then it was like, I'm finding out all kinds of different tidbits on you that is so impactful. That's really going to inspire other people. And that's why we call it Herspiration Happy Hour, is that your audience really gets to see behind the music and, all of the things that make Beth who she is. So I thank you for being so transparent. And I already know I'm going to try to find me some tickets in one of these cities that I'm going to be in, because I need to look up Atlanta, because I might be in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta a few times, and then Philly. I'll be in Philly Saturday. So Saturday, are you there Saturday? I'm just,
No, you know what? No, we don't. Our first show is the 30th. And so we start on the 30th, and then we're gone after that.
I need to look at the
one reason why I'm transparent, you mentioned the transparency, is because I just know that some of the things that I felt and I dealt with, and I didn't have anybody to relate to talk to ask a question. And I know that there's other people out there. There's other singers, there's artists, there's dancers, there are people just in general in life who have felt the anxiety, felt insecure, didn't feel that they were good enough, but they deep down inside, they knew they were. They just don't know how to pull it out. So sometimes you need to hear somebody say that they feel, or they've gone through the same thing. And hopefully that'll spark a little something in somebody to try to push a little harder, so that they can ultimately in the end be happy. Because we want to go to bed at night, close our eyes, and be happy with who we are. And when you have things that are undone, or you didn't do it, or you missed the bus, or you shoulda, coulda, woulda, it's always this uneasy feeling that you have in you. And I hate that feeling. And I don't want people to feel like that if they don't have to.
Love that. So thank you so much for coming to hang out. You have some fans here. We hope, I know I'm going to find my way to figure out which city I'm going to try to, see you at while you're out here on this tour. And we'll be looking for your album. Ron, you have to bring her back on again at some point, just to see how things are going with, your tour and your album.
Maybe things before I can come back. I would love to. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I'm going to be vlogging too on the tour. I'm gonna be showing my outfits. Y'all know I gotta go back to the fashion. I'll be talking about just showing backstage and showing some of the things. People don't really get to see what it's like to be on a tour, and the operations and the movements and the daily and all that. So we're really trying to document that. I'm gonna be vlogging and doing that kind of stuff and having a camera. So I'm on Instagram. It's Beth Always Sings. You all can check me out. I'll definitely be posting about releases and things like that. And then you all can feel like you're backstage with me. And
Well, I just found out you're going to be in Atlanta on the 8th and the 9th at the Fox. I am actually in Atlanta on the 9th of April.
Well, come on.
Yeah, so now that I have that information, definitely appreciate you coming by. We definitely want to have you back. I know we go on our summer hiatus, so by the time the end of the summer, you're going to be popping. So calendar in the fall with us to come hang out, even if it's just as a guest co-host.
Right.
Thank you.
Come and have a conversations and hang out with us.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, and good luck and safe travels on your tour.
Thank you. And I will see you in Atlanta, and I'll see. Well, I'm pointing
Orlando. Yes.
Yeah, Orlando. you know, Orlando and Atlanta.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping by. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
All right.
Yes, you too.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Oh my God.
So great.
Absolutely. I'm inspired. I mean, for so many reasons. And I think everything she said resonates outside and it has such an impact outside of the music.
Yeah, absolutely. It's applicable.
Patient and trusting the process. Trusting the process is really hard. Really, really hard. I mean, anything that you want to do, I can't think of anything. I mean, even if you're going for a job interview or, going to school, of course, getting a doctorate or, having to write your dissertation, there's always those processes that's in place that you have to trust. And as somebody who wrote a dissertation, if you ever want to lose weight, that dissertation diet is something else, because I lost like so much weight just doing that dissertation. Girl, I cried like for 3 weeks straight. It was a mess. Oh, you're there. I know.
But the only bad part is I've gained 7 pounds. I went to go try on my dress again. I can't fit it.
I lost 7 pounds.
Well, no, because my mother-in-law has been for like the past 3 weeks and she cooked rice every night. She's from Haiti. And so like I've been eating like 5 plates a day and I've gained 7 pounds. Like,
why are you eating 5 plates a day?
Because I don't know what's going on with me. I can't stop eating. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh, well.
But I gotta lose the weight again because I can't fit the dress. The wedding dress. She was like,
well, you don't have time. I think you don't get
but I fit it when I bought it. And that was just in January. Now I don't fit it no more. That is so sad.
You better get you some tummy tea.
Well, I need to give me something because it's gonna take all y'all like.
I don't even, I'm trying to start my weight loss journey very soon. Not like I have a lot of weight to lose, but I know I want to tone up. And every day I think about it and I'm motivated, but that's a process I haven't trusted yet for some reason, because I've just work interferes and then I have other stuff that I want to do. And I'm like, you know what, I need to tone up. And I have a June wedding that's in Jamaica. I have your wedding in Mexico in October, and I'm trying to have my beach bodies. I'm gonna have my beach bodies ready. So I think I'm gonna start back doing like aerial yoga or even pole fit or something. I just need I need to do something other than run. And I also, now that the weather is breaking, I'm going to start running. But the only problem with that is when I start running outside, people start cutting grass. And as somebody that's not only allergic to grass, but that's asthmatic, that's very problematic.
Yeah.
So hopefully, when I'm back in Alabama visiting my mom, this time I'll be motivated like I was before when I previously went to get on her treadmill, which, hadn't happened yet, but I took workout clothes.
Okay.
But I just didn't work out this time. So I know.
I took the clothes, but I didn't quite utilize them.
I know. Well, we thank everybody for coming out to hang out and, just have this cocktails and conversations with us.
Absolutely.
Again, if you enjoyed the show, there is always the tip jar that you can buy us some drinks. It's www.buymeacoffee.com/Herspiration Happy Hour. You can also follow us. If you want to be on the show, actually, it's dawentertainment.com/podcast. It gives you all the instructions on how to be a guest on the show. The unique thing is that you don't have to reach out to us. From there, there's a form that you fill out. Right after you fill out that form, you click submit. You will instantly receive an email that will take you to the scheduler, and you can schedule. We are booked all the way through, I think May 11th was the next date. and we'll be getting ready to go in on hiatus for the summer. I believe June 1st or so. So in the interim, if you want to be on the show, you better move fast, because they are not playing with getting on the show. And we're grateful and thankful for all of our guests and coming out and being transparent. So
correct.
I'm over here looking for the outro. So, do you have anything you want to share with
Yes.
Is there
No, I'm just glad that I was able to get on when I was. This is the season. And so, I think all of the information that we heard from Beth was good, was actually great information. Like you said earlier, when things seem too scary or when they seem like they're impossible to achieve, just having that courage and knowing and having that faith and drive within yourself to say, you know what? It may look like a hard hill to climb. It may look like a challenging feat, but I have the ability that's inside of me to be able to overcome and conquer whatever it is that's standing in my way. And then you'll be like Beth, and then you'll look back and be like, it wasn't really that bad. So whatever you're facing today, I just want to encourage you to face it head on and have the faith and the strength to believe that you're going to overcome it.
But not only that, it is better to try and fail than not have tried at all.
Correct.
Sometimes in failing, you find a way to succeed. So that's a tidbit that I would say before we go. The other thing I will share is that on March 22nd, my big day, the third title in my children's book series will be released, called Brown Girl and Brown Boy Be Well. It is available for pre-order right now in the English. The Spanish and French versions will be available, if not this weekend. By the weekend for pre-order, it would definitely be available for purchase, definitely on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And as it spreads through the distribution, you'll be able to find it just like you find all the other books in the series. I'm super excited about this one. I mean, I was about the other ones too, but this is the kickoff one for 2022. If you're going to be in Atlanta, or you're in the Atlanta area on April 2nd, I will be doing a book signing for the newest book that's coming out. And I'll also have some of the older books with me at the Black Dot Cultural Center in Lithonia, Georgia. You can find that advertised on my page. I haven't updated yet, but I did have a book signing in Philly on April 26th. But unfortunately, you all send prayers to I think it's Hakeem's bookstore. It caught fire, so I have to postpone my book signing there. More information will be coming forth on my next time that I will be in Philly signing books. I do plan to add a few other cities to that, but as far as my kids' red carpet, the first kickoff will be in Jackson, Mississippi on May 14th. Right now it ain't right now. I'm finalizing the paperwork and the contract because it's going to be at the Mississippi Children's Museum. So there's so many things that's going on. Stay tuned, because the second book also is already in process, and that's going to release June 24th. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on. And here again, you have to trust the process. With that, everybody, we look forward to next week's show. Let me tell you who's going to be on the show next week. We have, what's today's date? Today's the 16th. Next week, we will have Katie Burke as our guest on Herspiration Happy Hour. And we're looking forward to it. So, everybody have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your evenings. And with that, cheers.